I'd like to make the motion to adjourn the meeting.
We here to handle the business, not let the business handle us. That's what we are elected to do, sir. So please.
It's her fault. It's her problem, her responsibility, and she failed. She's failed.
In a small Chicago suburb, Tiffany Henyard, the self-proclaimed super mayor, finds herself at the center of a political firestorm. Accusations of unpaid rent, misuse of taxpayer funds, and even potential legal action have turned township meetings into spectacles of chaos rather than forums for governance. As tensions rise over her controversial leadership, Illinois politics grows even more unpredictable. The unfolding drama highlights a clash between showmanship and accountability, leaving residents to question the future of their community.
South suburban Dalton today. First, the state comptroller has suspended some payments to the village because it has failed to follow the law by providing financial.
Elected mayor of Dalton in 2021, Tiffany Henyard has become one of the most polarizing figures in local politics. She faces accusations of lavishly spending taxpayer money and misusing police resources for personal protection. Adding to the controversy, Henyard is now facing eviction from her own home for failing to pay rent. Yes, you read that correctly. Despite earning nearly $300,000 annually as both mayor and town supervisor, Henyard and her boyfriend, Kamal Woods, have not made rent payments since August. Landlord Janetta Hall has finally taken legal action, filing eviction papers after months of non-payment.
In Thornton Township, the board and citizens looking for accountability to their finances while the township's
Tiffany Henyard's leadership style resembles that of a reality TV villain more than a public servant. One of the many controversies surrounding her involves an ongoing dispute with her landlord, Janetta Hall. Henyard and her partner, Cam Woods, reportedly owe thousands in unpaid rent and even had the audacity to change the house's locks and garage code to prevent Hall from accessing the property. Now facing the potential foreclosure of her own home, Hall is understandably furious. She insists the issue is no longer just about money. She simply wants Henyard and Woods to vacate. But the drama doesn't stop there. Henyard is also locked in a bitter feud with Dalton's Board of Trustees. The trustees accuse her of everything from falsifying checks to concealing financial documents. Recently, in a nearly 90-minute Facebook livestream, Henyard made a shocking declaration. She intended to have her political opponents arrested, though she failed to specify what crimes they had allegedly committed. The conflict between Henyard and the trustees has now reached a boiling point, with both sides hurling accusations of corruption and misconduct. In response, the trustees have even filed a lawsuit against her. Yet, rather than back down, Henyard, seemingly inspired by legal dramas, remains defiantly combative, adding even more fuel to an already raging political crisis.
But it's just something we felt important that had to be done, that should be done. So, but like I said, just...
The irony in Tiffany Henyard's situation is impossible to ignore. The same mayor who was caught earlier this year spending tens of thousands of taxpayer dollars on first-class flights, luxury hotel stays, and fine dining in cities like New York and Atlanta is now accusing her opponents of corruption. Currently under federal investigation for her extravagant spending and misuse of public funds, Henyard has raised eyebrows with her own actions. A shocking report revealed she spent an astounding $43,000 on Amazon in a single day. Purchases she claimed were for office supplies, but looked more like a personal shopping spree funded by taxpayers. Her reckless spending even caught the attention of former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who was brought in to investigate Dalton's financial affairs. The findings were staggering. Under Henyard's leadership, the town's general fund balance plummeted from $561 million in 2022 to a staggering deficit of $365 million by May 2024, a $9 million drop in less than 2 years.
Appointment. That's what the trustees I talked to are calling this. They say the news took them by surprise, and now they're talking to legal counsel to figure out their next.
The village of Dalton is now in crisis, largely due to Tiffany Henyard's reckless spending spree, which has not only damaged its reputation, but also left local businesses struggling to stay afloat. One particularly alarming revelation uncovered that 589 checks, totaling over $6 million, were printed but never sent to vendors, leaving critical payments unpaid and essential services in disarray. With federal authorities now reportedly investigating Dalton's finances, it's clear that the situation is far from over. Henyard's opponents argue that her actions make one thing clear. She has prioritized her own lavish lifestyle over the well-being of the very community she was elected to serve.
Are not paying whatever that vendor is.
What was it for?
It was for shirts. That's what it's.
Has Tiffany Henyard expressed any regret for Dalton's financial crisis? Of course not. Instead, she continues to portray herself as the town's self-proclaimed savior. In a recent Facebook rant, she accused her critics of jealousy and dramatically promised to reveal the whole truth later. A statement that sounded more like a soap opera plot twist than a serious political address. She even suggested that her opponents were using the accusations against her to cover up their own corruption, asking, "Why is all this attention on Tiffany Henyard?" As if she were the innocent victim of some grand conspiracy. Meanwhile, the residents of Dalton are left bewildered, wondering how they ended up with a mayor more focused on playing the victim than solving the town's real problems. The village is grappling with urgent issues: water main breaks, unpaid vendors, and an overburdened police force, with officers pulled away from their duties to act as Henyard's personal bodyguards. Yet despite all this, Henyard insists that her extravagant spending somehow benefits the community, leaving many residents deeply skeptical of her priorities.
Absolutely not guilty of all 9 counts. I believe he's cooperating. And if you cooperate, you have to admit.
A shocking investigation uncovered that Dalton's village credit cards were used for everything from luxury furniture to taxpayer-funded trips to Las Vegas. Meanwhile, Henyard's face was plastered across town on billboards, making it seem as if Dalton were her personal kingdom. One of the most outrageous examples of her reckless spending was an $85,000 party featuring rapper Jay Holiday and singer K. Michelle, all while the town's finances were in free fall. Despite the growing financial crisis, Henyard's actions reveal a troubling disregard for the very community she was elected to serve.
One day purchase of over $40,000 to Amazon. And the main thing is,
as if things couldn't get any more bizarre, the latest township meeting under Henyard's leadership quickly spiraled into complete chaos. What was supposed to be a discussion of essential township business instead turned into a live-action disaster as Henyard clashed with the trustees. In a particularly petty move, she barred trustee Carroro from participating remotely, citing so-called safety concerns over her absence. Despite Carroro having a valid reason for not attending in person, Henyard dismissed her concerns with condescending arrogance and refused to allow virtual attendance. This is just one of many examples of how township meetings have devolved into dysfunction under her leadership.
You are up here at this special meeting and not downstairs.
When it came time to approve the meeting minutes, Henyard's behavior was nothing short of authoritarian. She attempted to push the proceedings through without any discussion, blatantly disregarding parliamentary procedure. When no one seconded her motion, she shamelessly seconded it herself. As the meeting dragged on, it became increasingly clear that Henyard was more interested in putting on a show than conducting actual township business. Frustrated, trustee Chris Gonzalez finally had enough and walked out. Henyard wasted no time twisting the narrative, claiming that Gonzalez had abandoned his duties and refused to serve the people. Conveniently, she left out the fact that her own actions had caused the meeting to collapse in the first place. Local. Frustration with Henyard's antics is reaching a boiling point. One commenter on a YouTube video of the meeting summed it up best. "Arrest this clown already." Another didn't hold back, declaring, "She is the worst enemy of the residents by far." Despite the mounting backlash, Henyard recently announced her bid for re-election as mayor of Dalton. In true Henyard fashion, she made the announcement on Facebook as if the past few years of scandal and mismanagement hadn't even happened. But her political opponents, including the widely respected Jason House, are gearing up to challenge her in the upcoming election. These public reactions reflect the growing dissatisfaction among Dalton residents, many of whom feel Henyard is more focused on clinging to power than actually serving her community. Her tenure as mayor has been nothing short of disastrous, marred by accusations of corruption, financial mismanagement, and abuse of power, piling up faster than she can deny them. With the FBI reportedly investigating her reckless spending, the question now is, how much longer can she hold on? One thing is certain, Henyard won't go down without a fight. Even though financial records show she hasn't raised much money recently, she's still moving forward with her campaign, a testament to how far some politicians will go to maintain their grip on power. The saga of Tiffany Henyard is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked authority and what happens when public office is treated as a personal playground. So what do you think will happen next? Will Henyard manage to cling to her position despite the scandals? Or is this the beginning of the end for Dalton's so-called super mayor? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you believe it's time for change in Dalton's leadership, don't forget to hit the like button. Henyard's rise to power was fast, but if she falls, it'll be nothing short of spectacular. The people of Dalton deserve better. Let's hope they make their voices heard in the next election.